Howdy folks, howdy, Sean Brock here with you once again. Reminding you, please subscribe and you won't miss all the good stuff. Not the junk, the good stuff. The junk we put out on 4 o'clock on Thursday mornings. And it usually gets picked up by about 6:30. Unless school's out and it gets picked up about 3:30 and wakes me up in the middle of the night, y'all. Anyway, this here is from a guy that over in Western Kentucky, Rocky Northern. That is his God-given name, I promise you. We ID'd him at the door 2 or 3 times. And this, Rocky is no stranger to the channel. We have had, I want to say 5 or 6 of his guitars on in the past. And I actually got one that I ended up getting, I think it was the last one we had on, which was a Sunburst D18 style. Real nice guitar. And this is right fresh off the bench. This is a unique build, a very, very good build. And this is a Walnut back and sides instrument with an Adirondack red spruce top, non-torrefied. We've had torrefied and regular and unleaded from Rocky, and this one is not torrefied. Just straight up good old Adirondack spruce with Adirondack spruce bracing, forward shifted scalloped X. Mahogany neck, walnut back and sides, ebony bridge, ebony fingerboard, old long saddle, 2 5/16 on the string spacing, 1 3/4 at the nut. Mahogany neck with a nice volute there, kind of his what I'm starting to think of as his signature thing there, and his Grover open back tuners. And man, oh man, oh man. We're lucky enough, the owner is here, Dwayne Sparks of the Fast Track Band, Fast Track Bluegrass Band. If you're not familiar with them, please check them out. FastTrackBand.com. And I've known Dwayne for, he would probably say too long, I don't know, 25 years. Very talented singer and a guy that has exquisite taste in guitars, and this was built for him, and we're just kind of having it on to showcase a little of Rocky's work. So please do listen to this Rocky Northern guitar, because this thing is absolutely the bomb. Listen to the sustain on this guitar. That is unreal. Brand new. And you've got this nice clarity. Well, I'll talk about that later. Listen to the sustain. Well, we ain't got all day. It's still, that's nuts, man. It's like a tuning fork. And you got this nice, but you know, it's warm. It's warm. But you got this nice clarity. In the top 4 strings, and anybody that's not a newcomer around here knows how much I've talked about. For me, a dead, unlively, or a too warm E, A, D, and G is just too, it's just a little too, it doesn't suit my playing style quite as much. And these are just real nice, so you get a nice percussive slap on them. Notice how the A pops out too. I mean, you can get the fundamental to really pop out when you want to. Check out the bass. Very nice. Very nice, but very controlled. But you still hear every note. I mean, you got a real nice bleed in the sustain, just nice overtones, but you still got cleanliness, enough dryness where you hear all notes. I'm distracting myself. Okay, well, man. The futile search for capos when there's 27 of them behind you. Oh, let me strum a G chord on here right quick. This will watch your ears a little bit. Punch, super punch coming out of Walnut, and that's not easy to do. That's not easy to get. I've owned a Walnut guitar. I love Walnut. I love alternative tone woods. I've talked about it many times, and I am aware though of some of the downfalls that anybody can have in the alternative tone wood world. And Wayne Henderson, I've heard him say time and time again that people could build walnut, cherry, and oak guitars and never miss a beat and not think about mahoganies and rosewoods again, but they just won't listen to you. And that's what Wayne said. And I buy that. So check this thing out with a capo. It's so new. Dwayne put a capo on it to test it out, and Rocky had never had that forethought. He was worried about getting it done and all that. But check this thing out with a capo. I was talking about. guitar that'll handle hammer-ons and pull-offs with clarity. That old bass follows you right up the fingerboard here. You know, this thing mics up. Another thing that I've said over and over on here, that sometimes you have to be careful in some of the hardwoods, some of the rosewoods, just because they're not quite so microphone friendly. And I told Dwayne before we started, I said, you know, man, from the best I can remember, it's been some months ago, but Dwayne has been playing one of Rocky's mahogany guitars, and this thing, it mics up every bit as good, and maybe even just a tad cleaner sounding. Third fret here. The farther down we go, too, the more the qualities that I spoke about of the clarity in the top four strings, the more they present themselves, which is another good thing. I mean, if you ever liked the sounds of Dan Tominski or a Tim Austin kind of rhythm, something like that, people that have a good snap in there, Tony Rice, for example. People that have just a real good snap and sizzle and percussiveness in their rhythm playing. You know, part of that is the player. A lot of that is the player. But I can tell you firsthand, because I've owned a couple of them and I have played 1,000 of them or more, there's a lot of guitars that won't give you that, where you can't get that snap to come out. And this one, it's just, man. You'll hear what I'm hearing saying right here, the percussiveness of this thing. I made that pop out a little too hard. You have so many levels of control. Blend. And make that E pop out. And it's just barely a little tiny change in your right hand. So that's brand new guitar, people. I told you when the first time that we had Rocky stuff on, it's probably been 9-10 months, something like that. I told you, and I will create a Rocky Northern playlist too, so we can keep up with these. But I told you that this was a guy that you needed to watch, and he was going places and doing really big and good things. And every time he brings a guitar to show to me, I'm more impressed than I was the last time. And that's what you like to see in a builder, somebody who's staying passionate about it. Because I know people who kind of get the burnout. They hit 100 guitars and they get a little, it's just another day at the office. Some people it's 2, 3, 4, 500 guitars. And I get it. It's hard to stay passionate about it. And Rocky, it seems like if anything, he just gets more and more passionate about it as he goes along. Let's check out the 5th fret here. Goodness sakes, man. This thing gets a good mountainy and it's rich, clean. Check the tone color on this. It's brand new, man. It's brand new. I ain't had nobody fiddling with it but Rocky. Well, he did take it around. I got to say, too, another mutual builder friend of ours, Chris Rothrock, Rocky went up to visit Chris to just, they're buddies. And he just got this strung up. And the next day, I sent a text to Chris about something entirely different, and I said, what's going on, man? Blah blah blah, and he wrote back. He said, well, I can tell you what's going on. He said, my head's still ringing from this guitar that Rocky brought up here. You're not going to believe this thing, and that is big words from a man that makes guitars like Chris Rothrock does. I mean, and he just came out of the gate just bragging because both of these guys are just wonderful, wonderful builders and wonderful people. And he just went on and on about this guitar. He said, "You're just not going to believe it. You're just not going to believe it." And it's spoken for itself. It's spoken for itself. There's not much more I could say that you haven't heard. If you haven't heard it, then you might want to go ahead and make some appointment down there and make sure things are okay with you, or maybe it's something minor and you got a little bit of wax buildup or something like that. But it's spoken for itself, absolutely. This is a bang up guitar. And this is number 14 from Rocky Northern. And he's a guy of big taste. He owns a lot of guitars. He makes friends, with a lot of builders, and he supports them, buys their guitars. Of course, Rocky brought his 37 D18 down with him last time, and just to have us put it on so everybody could listen to it. So he's got good stuff to go by. He really does. And, I would encourage you, highly, highly encourage you to check out Rocky Northern Guitars. We'll have some of his stuff from time to time in the shop. Of course, you're always welcome to come by and play mine. You don't have to buy one from me. I would like to see people patronize Rocky. It doesn't matter if I'm involved in it or not, because we've always had the relationship of promoting builders on the channel, and that'll never change. He is going to do a build or two here and there for the shop. But in the meantime, there might be something special that you want, so you get with him. You can check him out online, check him out on Facebook, and he'll take real good care of you. I can promise you that. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so. I'd sure appreciate it. You all take care.